Well, you can get your picture taken too. You bring a camera?
You're welcome, Dennis. How are you doing?
I'm still playing around with that.
Yes, I know you're quite busy.
Bag for me.
Oh, perfect.
So we'll do that as a presentation up there. Just
Perfect. Two of our accounts, please.
Kristopher is truly one of courage and conviction. The courage to face their individual challenges with hope, and the conviction to educate and promote their shared concerns and vision regarding the challenges they both continue to face. The focus on our youth in your journey is both commendable and appropriate. Usually through the goals and dreams of children do we as adults more clearly begin to understand the unclouded issues that demand our collective attention. Kristopher, I laud your passion and confirm that when reading about your story and your commitment, that it actually inspired me personally in dealing with even just minor and perhaps mute little mundane things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. And for that, perhaps I personally thank you. We all wish you continued good luck and safe travels, but more importantly, over the short period, that your personal wait for a donor will soon be over, and that you will continue your journey with renewed health and conviction. If I may take a moment, the step-by-step process in the program, and George will touch on this perhaps a little bit later, but there is a website, and sometimes websites can be an extension over information, but I did take an opportunity to educate myself, hopefully further, and in doing so came upon some comments on the chat board, and there was one from a lady who had met George during a period, I believe in 2001, in the 795, the journey that George took upon. This lady who was living in Kelowna at the time is now in Sydney, Nova Scotia. And her contributed words, and this was just a story she was relating, so I would recognize these from a Mrs. Wilson, who now resides in Sydney, Nova Scotia. But her comments about a story were that a man sees a woman walking along a beach after the tide had gone out, and she's picking up starfish off the sand floor and throwing them back into the water. Curiously, he asks her what she is doing, and she looks up at him and replies that I'm saving starfish. He looks at her oddly and says, but there are millions of starfish washed up on the shore, and you surely cannot save them all, so why does it matter? Calmly, the woman picks up another starfish and throws it back into the ocean and says, well, it matters to that one. And she continues her walk along the beach. So once again, Kristopher, welcome to Tillsonburg. I'd like you and the public to know that on the next public meeting of the Council of the Town of Tillsonburg, there will be a resolution introduced to support both your mission and your vision statements of the step-by-step organization, and with the intent that it will be forwarded to all municipalities that you continue to approach throughout your personal and collective journey. And I hope that that information will be shared with our staff, so that that information will be guidance from the direction and support that you have from our municipality, so that where you're visiting in the future, know that you're coming and know that the support is coming from where you're coming from. I hope that we'll be able to utilize our resources in information technology as far as linkage to our own municipal website, so that the residents of our municipality continue to be informed as you continue your journey, and that we'll be able to interact with you from time to time. And we certainly welcome, at the time when you do leave here today and continue your journey, that you'll know that you have friends and a network here in Tillsonburg, and that there's a place that you can either call back on for support, or certainly just to chat and see how things are going, because we'd certainly like to know how things are going. So I invite you both to stay in touch with us so we can all monitor your progress. I'll introduce George, and he's got some other comments. But first of all, on behalf of the municipality of the town of Tillsonburg, if I could just briefly just come up, and I'd share a parcel that hopefully you'll be able to take a little bit of Tillsonburg with you. Kristopher, this is the first time, I know you'll be introduced, but I really want to thank you and welcome you to Tillsonburg, and just wish you from myself and from all our residents best of luck in what you're doing now, and for all that you need, to encourage you in what you're trying to accomplish for yourself in the future too, especially young men. I want to make sure you get the goodie bag. But there's some hats and pins, some information, some fun stuff hopefully, and maybe something you can take back to your mom too, because there's a cookbook in there. So, okay. And George, to you as well. Thanks for coming. I'll introduce you shortly. I'd like to acknowledge the efforts of and support that's come from other sectors of both the staff and residents and the emergency operations within this municipality as well. And perhaps on behalf of all emergency support systems in our municipality and surrounding area, I could call on Inspector Jack Goodlett to say a few words, please.
Thanks very much, Your Worship. On behalf of all the emergency services here in Tillsonburg, which is represented by Chief Parsons of the Fire Department, and there are brothers and sisters in the paramedic business, as well as the members of Oxford Detachment, which looks after the town of Tillsonburg, the town of Ingersoll, Southwest Oxford, and Zora townships. We'd like to welcome Kristopher. Like I was going to say, I met a brave young man today. That was Kristopher Knowles. He's from Sarnia. I had the pleasure of talking to him for a brief period of time up at the Gateway Mall in Tillsonburg as he prepared for his walk. What he's done is certainly encouraged me to, certainly support and tell everyone to fill out their organ donor card for their driver's license, and it is very important because Kristopher is waiting, and I think it's, as he's told me, it's probably within the near future that he may get his liver, and that's very important. And we in the emergency services would certainly support him. Now, the Ontario Provincial Police, I believe, are going to support Kristopher throughout the province of Ontario in each one of his walks. He's in the 13th day of his journey, and I'm sure that he's going to meet many more police officers in the on his journey. And I hope that he sort of remembers us here in Oxford from the Volkswagen and whatnot, and Kristopher had a good time with that. So on behalf of the Oxford County Detachment, I'd just like to call Kristopher up and give a presentation as well, which contains another little bag of goodies that he'll be able to take on his journey, and we just hope that he enjoys them. Kristopher, all the best. Good luck in your walk. Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
He was in the habit of handing out coolers. George, would you like to, George Marcello,
3 weeks ago, and he said I'll get my liver in about a month or two, so I can't wait until I get it. And this trip has been an experience for me, and I just can't wait until I get my liver, and then I'll go back and do it again when I stop. But my brother, Robert Knowles, he's going to finish it for me. Instead of when I get my liver, he's going to finish where I left off, instead of ending it right there. So I want to tell everybody to sign the organ donor cards so people like me and the 4,000 men, women, and children could live. And please don't take your organs to heaven. God knows we need them here. And tell your family that you want to be an organ donor and to sign their cards. Thanks for having me.